Hello, it's Vidas Pinkevicius, and in this video I'll share with you some ideas about the 6/8 meter. And first let me start by adding 6/8 meter to the score. Here it is, 6/8 meter at the beginning of this score, and you will easily understand what I'm talking about. So 6/8 meter is a compound triple meter, and it consists of sort of two 3/8 meters put together. In other words, if you have one measure of 3/8 notes and another measure in 3/8 notes, then of course putting them both together you will have 6/8 meter. So in order to demonstrate that, let me add some notes. How about in 8 notes? In 8 notes from the beginning. Yes, here it is. Yes, let me start that. Yes, let's look at how these notes, 8 notes, are grouped. C, D, E, right? Look what happens next. F, G, A. Look, the first measure, you can see this scale, it has three 8 notes tied together. It's one group, 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6, it's another group. So therefore it's like sort of a compound meter and consists of two 3/8 meters. Therefore in this meter there are two stronger beats. One is very strong, the first downbeat in my score is note C, and note F is beat 4, which is also relatively also strong, because it's a downbeat of the second measure, so to say. So in between those 3 and 4, E and F, we have sort of invisible bar line. So it's invisible because it has to be, because it's just one measure, right? 6/8. But in reality we have two groups of 3/8 notes here. Okay, so what would happen if we would continue this melody, but now in 8 notes? Okay, so imagine how many 8 notes are in 6/8 meter. Of course 6, but how many 16th notes? Okay, twice as many, of course, 12, right? So let me continue this exercise in 16 notes. Yes, look what happens here. In our melody, the second measure has only 16 notes, and in the middle of this measure, second measure, we also have this invisible bar line. Yes, and therefore we have a group of 6 16th notes. Okay, so it's very important to note that whenever you write with a pencil, for example, a melody or composing in 6/8 meter, then you have to group like that. How about now adding some spice and mixing 8 notes and 16th notes together? How about this one? How about we will start with the 1 8 note and then two 16th notes, and then how about again 8 note? Okay, so that's pam pararam meter rhythm. Okay, one more time. Yes. So this is also, you see, in the middle of this measure 3, we also have this invisible bar line right here, and we still have two groups of 3/8, but now the second 8th note, beat 2 basically, is divided in two 16th notes, and beat 5 also, F and E. Therefore, we have that. Okay, the next measure will have one 8th note and then two 16th notes. Actually 4. Let's do 4. Like that. And how about the next one will have this one. Yes, how about 16th notes would be better. Yes, look at measure 4. Pum pa 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 pum pa 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 pum. Yes, so this is a meter, 6/8, the same meter, but the grouping is also in the middle of this measure. We have this invisible bar line, and we have not one group of 10 notes, but two groups of 5 notes. Okay, let's introduce now in the next measure a dotted 8th note. This will be in Sibelius like that, dotted, and look what happens next. And then how about this meter, this rhythm? Yes, dotted 8th note, 16th note, and 8th note. Okay, and also again we have the same nice invisible bar line here. Okay, and the last thing about this measure and meter, 6/8 meter, is mixing the dot here, but adding more 16th notes here, like that. One dotted 8th note and three 16th notes. Again, one dotted 8th note and three 16th notes. Yes, I'm deliberately doing stepwise motion everywhere, so that our melody will be nicely done in stepwise motion, and we can hear and how it sounds. And the last measure perhaps would be last two measures. Let's do two more. How about mixing the dot? How about mixing the dot? And also in the next one, let's do 3 8 notes. All right, and then the last note will be one note per measure, the entire measure long note. That will be a half note, dotted half note basically. All right, that will be like that. Okay, so we have the entire melody here, and let me change a little bit measure 7, because we didn't have the dotted quarter notes here. All right, let me add. All right, B, and then G, and this note C will be at the end. Okay, the last measure. Okay, so we can now listen to this melody, 8 measure long, and look how these notes are grouped in 6/8 meter. Okay. One last thing about this exercise is that this dotted there are other meters like 3-4 meters where you can see dotted half note, but in 3-4 meter it's sort of a little bit duple meter because we have 3 beats per measure, but these 3 beats are subdivided in two notes, so 1 and 2 and 3, and therefore also we have we can have this dotted half note here. But in 6/8 meter we also have this dotted half note, but as you always saw, we only have 2 groups of 3/8 notes, not 3 groups of 2, but 2 groups of 3. Okay, let's listen to this exercise a little bit slower, a little bit more appropriate tempo. Okay. All right, so that's how it should sound. Now it's your turn to compose something in 6/8 meter, a little melody, perhaps in 8 measures, perhaps in this key, C major key, or choose any other key that you want. If you liked this video, I recommend visiting my site Secrets of Organ Playing, where you can find advice, tips, and training for organists. So if you're interested in organ practice and organ exercises and training, go ahead and click at the organ site called organduo.lt, basically www.organduo.lt. There you will find a lot of articles and exercises and other practice material for organists. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.